Hello, I'm Paul here. Today I'm going to be going over a strategy when it comes to trading crypto. And this is coming from a strategy of having an upgraded account on TradingView or, whatever trading platform you use. But this upgrade requires you to have to look at charts on the second. So whatever that is, if that's TradingView, if that's another platform, it's looking at the charts on the seconds. Today we're going to be looking at strategies to do it with future trading, buying and selling, ups and downs with crypto, and just trading crypto all together. So we're going to go over the formula that I use, and we're going to be looking at the 10-second candle, which means every candle is 10 seconds, so it goes very fast. So what we're going to be plugging in is an auto Fibonacci, which so we'll know the levels that it's at and where it could potentially do some bouncing. And I'm also going to be plugging in moving averages from the 20 and the 55. And if you guys don't know 2055, that's basically the first line and the last line from the rainbow strategy that I've talked about on my channel. So what we will be looking for is the moments for it to cross. So that is kind of like the signal that I look for. So anyway, I'm going to load up my chart and I'll show you how I do trading with futures. Okay, so let me show you how I set this up real quick, okay? So I got my auto Fibonacci here, and you'll notice that I basically drew my lines right here. From here you see the top of the Fibonacci and the closest ones where the candles are at, and I basically use that to draw the lines, and that's how you get the lines right here. With my moving averages, I got 20, 25, yeah, I got 20 and 55, which is the top and bottom of the, basically the rainbow strategy. Talked about it on this channel. And that's basically what the moving averages are right there. And what you basically can see here is what the strategy is. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these lines because it's a little bit distracting. I'll just load up my auto Fibonacci tool here. It sees it better. So anyway, what you can see is these are the levels where it can bounce. But what we want to look at for the strategy is every time that the 20 and the 55 cross, it usually, and when you're doing this on a when you're doing this on a 10-second, you actually zoom in a lot closer, so you can actually find a lot of those moments where when it goes up, when it goes down. As soon as the 20 and the 55 cross, you can see a lot of and because you're doing this on a 10-second candle, you can really zoom in and find a lot of those moments that you can't normally find, where you can find some pretty good trades. So basically the whole point of the strategy is do it on the 10-second candle if you have an upgrade account, and every time it crosses, that's your moment of getting in. So anyway, they're not all going to be, what you will find is if you go from cross to cross right here, if you notice here, the last time it crossed up, the Bitcoin's price was at 26,112, and then it didn't cross again until 26,133. So you could take profit any of that time, and any of that time is gains if you're doing a futures trade. So basically if you go cross to cross, you probably make some pretty good gains. So from here to here was profit, a little bit of profit. Now if you do this on the 10-second, your scalps are not going to be that much, but it's about those little, just get little wins here and there. And I'd rather get small little wins every day that add up to some pretty big numbers, because doing it this way you can really find a lot of those moments. You're not in the trade for a long time. Anyway, let's find some other examples here we see that it crosses, no, this is Bitcoin here. See that it crosses right here. Now this is a big time. So the 20 and 55 cross right here. And then it doesn't cross again. So let's see what the price was around here was 26,164, and then it crossed again. It crossed again at 26,112. So 26,112. Let's just measure that out real quick. This one is a bigger scalp here. So if you rode this entire thing out from when it crossed and you shorted it, this would be some pretty good profit. I mean, it's only down $59, but still, that's still a good trade. Now, you will find those moments that are big runs, and you find those moments that are small runs. Let me try a different crypto real quick. Let's look at Litecoin. Let's look at Litecoin. I want to look at a couple cryptos, and it works for anything here. So let's just look at Litecoin. Now, Litecoin recently had their halving, so we could tell that it's trying to go up. So Litecoin could be a good grab because it did just have its own halving. So go from here where it crossed all the way up here, and it hasn't crossed yet. So that was up 40.42%, which is good. Let's look at the auto Fibonacci here. Okay, so the auto Fibonacci here, what we can tell is Litecoin looks like it might be bouncing on this level right here. So unless it breaks this level right here, which it has, but if it stays up here, it has to stay. If it can't hold this level here, it's gonna come back down to that level there. So that's basically what I use the auto Fibonacci for. But right now, Litecoin's going up. Let's look at a few. Let's look at Ethereum. Now Ethereum should be close to, see, it just crossed right here. Ethereum just crossed on the 10-second, which means it's having a good run up. What I would do is I would be riding Ethereum from this point to whenever it crosses again. And if we look at right here, we see Ethereum cross down here, which was at 1599, and then it didn't cross back again until 1598. So that wasn't a big run, but I personally would look at I'd look at stochastic, and let me just load that up real quick. It'll give you a good idea of when we see that it crossed right here. We want to know if we can get out, when to get out, which was, it crossed right here, and we want to see when it would be a good time to get out. We'll probably be right about here. You can see it crossing. You can see it crossing down there. Anyway, so that's kind of the strategy. Let me go back to Bitcoin because I kind of want to show you guys one other strategy when it comes to this. Now, this is going off of a strategy that a lot of people talk about, and this is the stochastic. And that's basically when your stochastic makes a kind of it flatlines, and then it kind of makes a little snake. You know, when it's up here at the top or up there, down there on the bottom, right down there. If it's down there on the bottom, and it kind of makes a snake, and you might see that in a couple seconds here with Bitcoin, because the blue line has to push down to down. The blue line has to push down, and that's a good indication that it's going to start going down. So we'll check that out. So we want to look at some other examples. It has to be close to down here on the bottom, and it has to be pushing through for that to be a good indication. So if you rode this out right here and you scalp this, Now, when you're doing this on the 10-second, when you're doing this on the 10-second, your gains are not going to be massive. You're basically finding just quick scalps. So anyway, that's kind of how to do it. I make sure I have my auto Fibonacci loaded, and we kind of generally see where the market is going. So anyway, when I'm doing future trades, that's kind of how I set it up. I have my auto Fibonacci, and my moving averages I use are the 20-55, and every time the 20-55 cross, on the 10-second candle is a good moment to get in. It's a good moment to get in for a quick scalp. I look at the stochastic. Whenever the stochastic is at the top and it's coming back, the blue line is crossing through. That's a good indication for a short. And when it's on the bottom and the blue line is pushing through, that's a good indication for a long. So anyway, these are for quick scalps, but they work pretty well. Yesterday I made some minor scalping profits using this strategy. But anyway, if you guys like the strategy, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.